how's it going out there today, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Cash, and you've tuned in for Weekly Recap. What is Weekly Recap? Real quick, I go over it. If you're new here and you don't know what Weekly Recap is, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for me. That's all I ask. That's the only payment I require. But thanks for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Weekly Recap is me going over my week of operating a semi-truck in the United States. I talk about the loads I did, why I did them, all that stuff. I don't talk about my carrier. I don't talk about a few fixed costs like truck payment, insurance. You need to figure those out yourself. I don't talk about taxes because everybody's taxes are so different. It'd be a waste of time to talk about mine. And I'll go over it. We'll go over the variable cost, all that stuff. At the end, you'll hear me say this is the money left to do what I have to do with. And that's where, you plug in, what you pay yourself, uh, all that fun stuff. Okay, let's go. So I started out in Minnesota, and I like to go out and back, as everybody knows if you've been here for a minute. This was basically an out and back. I went Minnesota all the way down to Florida, and that was my outbound load. 93 empty miles on that one, 1426 total miles. Excuse me, loaded miles. 1519 on the total loaded and empty miles. It was a one pick, one drop, and this is from the middle of January 2025. Doesn't even sound right still saying it, but it is what it is. Negative 10-degree load, and that weighed 36,000 pounds. And that load paid $4,775. So that was my outbound load. Coming back, I had to be back in Minnesota on a certain day. So it kind of threw off my earning potential coming back because I couldn't split a load. I couldn't, wait for something that paid better. And I took a load out of Georgia. And honestly, most of the time, I would have took a load from Florida up to Georgia to get this other load, but I didn't have the time. I just needed to get back, and that's all there was to it. I was kind of pushing it going out and doing something this long to Florida because this was a full 7-day week, and I had to be back like the day I delivered. I delivered in Wisconsin, and I just deadheaded from there back to the house. So the way back, I took the load out of Georgia that was coming to Wisconsin. That was one pick, two drops in Wisconsin. I deadheaded 357 miles up to get that load. It's not like I deadheaded for better pay, really. It wasn't a great paying load. I would consider it a good load, though. 357 empty miles, 1,053 loaded miles, 1,410 all miles, negative 10 degrees, um, 18,000 pounds, and that paid $2,300. So, not a bad load back from Georgia, frozen load back to Wisconsin. It did have one pick on each side of the state of Wisconsin, so it kind of stretched the load out because it was one morning here, drive across the state, next morning get unloaded, go home. I would not mind doing this load more when I do runs to Georgia. Wouldn't mind doing it again out of Florida, but I would have to find something to connect me because that 357 miles and losing a day with no revenue is not really how I want to operate. I'm the type of guy, find me something out of Florida, anything. Preferably, I go for loads that are dry loads, so I don't have to run the reefer unit. Save that because you're not going to make any money out of Florida. Everybody knows that, but I at least try to haul something out of Florida. There are some loads in Florida. Most people don't think they're worth dealing with, and I respect that opinion. But for my money, in my opinion, I'd rather haul something than nothing. So normally, when I'm looking for a load out of Florida, and I don't always get this, but I look for these. These are my three criteria. Number one, really close to me. Number two, lightweight. Number three, going somewhere I want to go. So somewhere with a better pay. And three and a half, I like something that's a dry load, not refrigerated, because I don't like hauling freight out of Florida that's refrigerated, weighs 40,000 pounds for $1 a mile. I'm not going to go get that. But if I can find a dry load that's paying $1, $1.25, um, something like that, I'm going to go snatch it up and run it. Last time I went to Florida, I came out of Florida on a 4 pallet, 4,000 pound load that paid, $2 a mile. That's what I'm looking for out of Florida. I don't go into Florida just going, I'm just going to deadhead to Georgia. I stay on it, and I look very hard. And the people in the office are, going through the emails and everything, trying to find something out of Florida. I'm not a big fan of deadheading out of Florida. Sometimes you do what you got to do. It just is what it is. I always tell people, you run your business, I'll run my business. You know, cheap freight to you might not be cheap freight to me, but cheap freight to me might not be cheap freight to you. It just depends. You can't tell other people how to run their businesses. So if they go under, they go under, and if I go under, I go under. It's the business. But I'd rather haul some freight and make some money than to not move it, because that's how I look at business. Uh, I have a saying in business that revenue will overcome. If you can just make money, it will make a business. You can make a business. You can make a run at it. Um, so that's the 2 loads for the week. 2 and done. It was a long run out to Florida and back from Minnesota. When will I ever learn to stop going to Florida? Never, never. It's a decent lane, actually. I think Minnesota to Florida. Um, I know my buddy K Save lives in Florida. He likes coming up to Minnesota because you can get good money Minnesota down back to Florida. You just got to figure out how to get out of Florida. But that's the week, folks. 2 runs and done. That's how I like to do them. Rinse and repeat. Make a job, a business of it. Just make it simple. Just over and over the same thing. That's the way I like to do it. It's the way I've always done my trucking businesses. Um, so I probably won't stop going to Florida anytime soon. That load I took down from Minnesota to Florida, that's available a couple times a week for me, and I typically don't mind leaving out on it. It's a good load to leave out on. It's a 2-day run. Most of the time it picks up on Tuesday, normally like noonish, so I don't have to rush out of the house. I can leave the house, go get some groceries, go to the truck, get my day started rolling, drive, pick up the load. They load quick, and then you run it like Tuesday night, get up, run it again hard Wednesday, and then it's usually due Thursday afternoon. So it's about a 48 to 50 hour window on that. So that's a good chunk of money to make like in 2 days. That's good 2-day money if you ask me. Let's go over the numbers of the week. $7,075 total revenue. That's what me and my carrier made together. We are a partnership, if you want to put it that way. That's how I look at it. Without me, they don't make that revenue, and without them, I don't make that revenue. I kind of look at it as partnership. My 80% of that is $5,660. Whew, wish that was strip club money. Wish I could take that 5660 right down to the jiggle hut, put it in somebody's panties. Um, Too much information for you? That's what you get here. If you're not a subscriber, I recommend subscribing for more nonsense. Okay. Miles wise, let's talk about the miles. 2929 all miles, 450 empty miles. Straight getting after it on the empty miles. 2479 loaded miles. That's 15% deadhead. Not horrible coming out of Florida. I mean, you expect some deadhead coming out of Florida, right? Maybe not expect it, but have to anticipate it sometimes. It's one of those old sayings, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. That's kind of how I look at going to Florida. Um, all miles, 241 all miles. That's what it paid per mile, $2.41 every mile the truck turned. Of the 80%, that's $1.93 a mile for me. $2.85 a loaded mile. So Pretty average week for reefer rates there, I guess, in that 280 range. So let's go over to variable costs. We're looking at 1177 on diesel. I need diesel t-shirts down in the merch tent down there if you're looking for that. $82 in reefer. Oh, I love pulling a reefer in the winter. That load in Wisconsin, I had a negative 10-degree load, and I woke up one morning in Wisconsin, and it was negative 23 degrees. Not the wind chill. The wind chill was like minus 45 or something. The actual temperature was negative 28. Now, somebody asked me in a comment the other day, when the temperature outside is as cold as the reefer is inside, you ever just turn the reefer unit off? And I replied, no, I would never turn that reefer unit off. I actually set it to continuous when it was that cold because I didn't want the trailer to gel up or, I wanted it to be running. That way the battery didn't get killed or anything. But I would never turn that reefer unit off because of liability. If something was wrong with that load and they pulled a download on that, for you guys that don't pull reefer, when the insurance company requests a download, they're requesting the download of the unit. So that computer in the unit is downloadable. Basically, any reefer unit from like 2011 on is downloadable. They make you take that to a dealership, you know, a carrier or a thermoking, and they have you go in there and they pull a download from the unit. So you can't mess with it because they're going to have them pull it. So they pull it and they can know the temperature, all the settings, whether if it had, any kind of fault codes or anything. And that is how they're going to wiggle their way out of not paying the insurance claim. So you never want to give the insurance company an opportunity to get out of paying a claim. So I would never turn that unit off. When it was negative 23 outside, the unit was actually heating a frozen load. It was heating a frozen load to negative 10. It's what you got to do, though. I know it's a waste of fuel and all that, but it's just not worth the risk to me. When the insurance company wants it done a certain way, and the carrier, excuse me, the shipper, the customer wants it done a certain way, you just do it that way. It's just what it is. Now, the reefer unit didn't use much diesel, heating that up to, I don't know, whatever it went up to. It was keeping it at about negative 12 or whatever. But, the trailers, I got a nice, dense, insulated trailer, so I'm not as concerned about that. But let me go over the variable cost here. 1177 diesel, 82 in reefer, 35 in def fluids. Yeah, buddy, 35 in the def fluids. 0 in tolls. I had some time on the load from Georgia to Wisconsin, the first stop. So I dodged every toll in Chicago, went up, 41 and all that. I call it the DIY route, saving them tolls up through Chicago. But it's dodged them all. Didn't pay any tolls that week. 0 on scales. Hadn't paid much scales since I got this newer trailer with the weigh-right on it. Oh, a scale on the truck and a weigh-right on the trailer. It's the only way to be. And 0 on parking for the week. So total veritable cost was $1,294. Bring over my $5,660. Subtract out the $1,294, and that's going to leave me $4,366. 4366 left to do what I have to do. I'll take that. That's pretty damn good money. I mean, even after everything shakes out on that, I get a pretty good check out of that. Basically, I pay myself a salary every week, and that covers the salary. It puts a little bit in the bank. It pays all the other bills associated with a business. It puts back, money for this, that, and the other, everything the business pays, health insurance, all that. And, something I don't talk about much, but I try to put back on top of my salary, on top of what I pay myself, I put back a little bit for like paid time off. So I pay that salary every week of the year, whether I work 0 days or I work 7 days a week. I get the same salary every week. And I will tell you right now, ever since I started doing that like 5 years ago, that made operating a business so much easier. Now, it's a pain when, I get these backhaul weeks where I do, one backhaul load that doesn't make enough to even cover my salary. But, that's why we put back a little bit, because if we go on vacation or whatever, I'm not going to work that week. So, I don't know. It's made things a lot easier. If you own a business and you're owner operating or whatever, I suggest trying it. Give it a try for a month or two, maybe a quarter, and you can adjust your salary accordingly, obviously. But um, you have to pay yourself enough to live on, but you don't want to, run the business in the ground either. But I will tell you, it's a much easier way to live, a lot less stress. Give it a try. That's all I'm saying. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I hope you liked this. If you did like it, let me know. Smash the like button. Are you glad I went back to horizontal, or can I go back to vertical? I kind of like them when they're flipped up, like a short video. But let me know in the comments. Stay vertical or go back to horizontal. I don't know. You let me know. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, hit the notifications, share this. I'm on Facebook. Go over to Facebook, follow me on Facebook, and thanks, everybody. I do appreciate everybody watching the videos so much. Take care of each other out there. And remember, people are more important than trucking. Quick, I just want to remind everybody about the Mudflap app. If you're not using Mudflap, check it out, download it. It should be part of your fueling program. It's a free app. Go download it from the Apple or Android store. You sign up using credit card or bank account. No credit checks, nothing like that. No fuel card needed. Get yourself huge discounts on fuel. I buy about half of my fuel through it right now. It's an amazing free app. It's 100% legit. Sign up using my promo code there, and I'll get $10 in free fuel. You'll get $10 in free fuel. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. How important is Wi-Fi? Very important. That's why I use Nomad Internet in my truck. Yes, sir. This is a Wi-Fi modem that you put in your truck. Check them out. Links below. This thing gets signal when my phone will not. So if you're ever stuck at that truck stop with no signal, you'll wish you had some Nomad in your truck.